Well, welcome back to Strong Opinion Hibs. This is episode number 22. I'm Charlie, and as always, I'm joined by Calvin. Calvin, how you doing, mate?
I'm shattered. I've slept in for this episode. Recording at half 11 and I've slept in, so feeling a bit bad about myself, but I'm all right.
Nah, you're all good, mate. And today we've got the pleasure of being joined by Simon Mckenzie, one of the Hibs girls coaches. How are you doing, Simon?
I'm doing not too bad. Fairly decent morning. Took the dugout. As I say, been waiting for Calvin to get out of his wee bed. But we finally got there.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. So, Simon, before we jump right into it, I'm going to ask you a few quick questions to get to know you better, or at least for the listeners' sake anyway. So, what's your earliest memory supporting Hibs?
Well, it's quite funny actually that you say that. So, my brother and my dad are both Celtic fans, and I was brought up when I was younger as a Celtic fan.
Right.
And then it just happens to be at school, you used to get like free tickets and stuff to go to games. And the first ever game I went to was the draw against Dunfermline. Was it 4-4, I think?
You're going back a few years now, aye?
Aye. So that was the first game I went to. And my dad had gave me like £50 or something. Obviously, he wasn't too bothered about me going. And he didn't think I was going to be becoming much of a fan. It was a free game, free ticket. And then all of a sudden I came back with a Hibs top and said to my dad, "That's me now supporting Hibs. You can chuck my Celtic top in the bucket." And he didn't think it was true. And then he went out and I can't remember where he went. I think he went to the shop, and I'd already chucked my Celtic top in the bin, and I was wearing my Hibs top, and he was raging. He was absolutely raging.
That's class. So, who's your favourite Hibs player of all time?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Favourite player of all time? I don't know if I've really got one in particular. I've always had ones that I quite like Zamama, quite like Benji. If you're going by current, I'd probably go Scott Allen's obviously a favourite. But Boyle's I've always liked Boyle. I quite liked him. He wasn't up to too much at Dundee, but he was always a player that liked to get on the ball. Now I would say Boyle or Scotty on the current side, and then sort of Zamama or Benji from previous years.
Class side, all good players. And last question is just a wee bit about the coaching. So talk us through the story of how you got into coaching and ended up at Hibs.
So my kind of coaching journey started about 4 years ago. I was at college. I was doing a sports coaching course at Edinburgh College, and as part of that, we were kind of told to get a coaching placement, and it was always kind of a passion of mine to coach, watch football for years. I always felt I could bring my own kind of spin on things. So I was funnily enough, I was on a night out in Glasgow, and I noticed a thing on Facebook that Trinent Colts were looking for a coach. They were looking for people to come in and help. So I went down, gave it a try, and I had a couple of weeks with the boys and a couple of weeks with the girls, and I found that I enjoyed coaching girls more than I enjoyed coaching boys. Don't know what it was, just seemed to be the way it went. I was with Trinent for 3 years, and then I left them back in December. I felt I kind of needed something different. And funnily enough, when I was at Trinent, the current Hibs team that I'm coaching with, they were in our division last season, that following the previous season. And I'd spoke to the guy, Lee, who I currently coach with, to see if there was an opportunity to try and get in with Hibs. And I've been in since March. I've been in as assistant, so I've been really enjoying it, yeah.
That's good, mate.
Stuff.
Did you have to do like your badges and all that to get into that?
So I've been kind of progressing all the way up my badges. So my next badge will be my C licence when I go for it. So I've slowly been kind of putting it the way up, but I'm slowly trying to put that to the side for a bit, because it's not exactly the cheapest course to go on.
No, that's true.
Is it quite a good turnout with the girls? Is there a lot that go to the training?
So
because women's more popular, eh?
Well, I was saying to Charlie, so if you take Hibs alone, under 13, so the age group I coach, there's 4 teams.
Right, okay.
So you've got the Yellows who currently play in the 3rd division. My team and Lee's team, who the guy I coach, we are known as the Purples. We are in the 2nd division along with the Greens, and then there's the Whites that play in the top division. But our next season starts in 2 weeks' time, I think. And we're now moving up to the 1st division with the Greens, so there'll be 3 Hibs teams in the 1st division, and then I think the Yellows may move up to Division 2.
A good chance of Hibs winning the league then, eh?
Well, I definitely.
Hopefully.
I think it's sort of split. So the previous years, it's always just been one team in one division for the top division. Whereas there's so much interest of moving up, they've now split it into 2. So I think it's ourselves, the Purples and the Whites in one division, and the Greens go into another division. So there's always a good chance that you could get a title in both the A division and the B division, potentially a top 2 in the A division. So it's always positive that trophies can be won.
That's very good, mate. I was just going to actually bring you back to something you said earlier. How can you get hooked on Hibs with a 4-4 draw with Dunfermline? that would put me off.
I honestly
I'd be right here with my Celtic top on.
I think I was maybe just desperate to get rid of the kind of the whole stigma of getting called a glory hunter by all my pals at school that supported Hearts and Legs. So I thought, I'll go with a team that's.
You certainly done that.
made the right decision in some way.
Aye, absolutely.
That's true. Well, that's good, mate. That's a good wee story how you got into the coaching, and I mean, hopefully we see you in the women's team one day. That'd be class. Moving up. Is that the goal for you to move right up, or are you happy where you are just now?
My aspiration is to just get as high in the coaching ladder as possible. Do my badges as I kind of go on. I mean, I'm not the oldest. I turn 22 next month, so I'm not exactly the most experienced, but obviously you learn as you go on. But my plan is to get as high as possible, whether it's here in Scotland or whether it's to go abroad. My plan was to go abroad within the next couple of years, but obviously it just depends on kind of COVID permitting or whatever restrictions come in with like EU regulations and stuff. So it kind of just comes down to what happens over the next couple of years.
Do you have a destination in mind, like a particular place you'd like to coach, like what type of country?
I don't know what it is, but I've always quite liked Scandinavia for some reason.
Yeah.
That sort of region, certainly the kind of style of the way they coach as well, kind of likes the way I kind of like to play football. So it's definitely sort of around kind of Norway, Denmark, Sweden sort of area.
Oh, that's cool. I lived in Norway for 6 months when I went on exchange, and I used to live next to the football stadium. It was a team called Lillestrøm, very small team. They're a small team like in Norway. They're actually sitting 3rd in the league at the moment, but you used to see kids, boys and girls, all over the wee towns cycling to the stadium to go train. There was hundreds of them, and I never thought football was that big in Norway, but there's loads of them got to go train. Like they all had the kit on and everything, and I thought, I wish I was born here. I might have half a chance. It's really popular though, really popular.
Aye, for sure, and you see that in the Women's World Cup as well. The Norwegians always seem to have a decent wee team.
Scotland were robbed in that World Cup.
Mind that. It was nice to see us make a World Cup before the men's and the women's game.
I know the women's game's coming on leaps and bounds. Like I'll watch any football. So
it's nice to see us make it before it gets ruined as usual.
Aye.
Aye, for sure. We'll move on to we'll talk a wee bit about the Hibs game for last night first. So we won 2-1 away to Santa Coloma. Got to say it was the best first half of football I've ever seen in my life. That YouTube stream was outstanding. So we're through to the next round to play Rijeka, Croatia, who people maybe remember that they put Aberdeen out in the Europa League a few years ago. So what's our thoughts going in for last night going into next Thursday at Easter Road?
You want to take it away, Simon?
To be honest, last night I thought it was as Charlie says, it was an interesting first half for many reasons. Second half, I think there was some good performances, but I think there was also some pretty iffy performances as well. But I think a lot of them, as much as you want to try and focus on getting a result on the night, it was pretty much done. I don't think they were ever really going to cause us much bother if we were too fussed about it. The goal came from a stupid mistake from Mckenzie, in my opinion, I would say. But it was a good finish for the boy. I don't think Messi could have done much about it. But the thing that impressed me the most last night, although they won with the best quality side, it was the sort of reaction to going behind. Was certainly the thing that impressed me the most, and how quick the reaction was.
Aye, totally. It was sort of when we went 1-0 behind, I'm like, oh, this could go either way now, eh? Like, they could have kicked on, but I didn't think they had much about them, eh? I think we were comfortable. You're right, though, the goal came for a wee mistake from McGinn, but like I'm not too worried about that. I think he'll learn from that and push on. Calvin, what were you thinking about it?
I missed the game last night, actually. I was out, but I thought that it would have been a tight game anyway before we went there. I seen folks saying it would be 4 or 5-0 and stuff like that, and I just thought the tie's already done. There's no need for it. If we went there last night and won 5-0, which being the same position we are now, we'd still be through. So it doesn't matter to me. I wasn't too bothered if they went through and they got beat 1-0, or if they'd won 2-1 or whatever. It didn't matter to me as long as they just done the job and got through. Without any injuries, I think was the biggest winning last night. So getting through there, getting everybody back healthy, and that I think was the main thing. And I think we're probably already forward thinking to that. How do you say their name? Is it Rijeka?
Rijeka,
I think. Aye.
Aye, Rijeka. I think our minds are already there. To be honest with you, we're already thinking about that. And obviously they finished third in their league last year as well. So I think it'll be a tough game for us. It'll be a tough game, but I think we'll have enough to do it. Like,
they've got that Joseph Dermich, the Switzerland striker, up top, so it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the two legs. Like, I think I'm not very confident going into them. I think they'll be a bigger step up than obviously Santa Coloma and Andorra were, but I think we've got enough in us to do it. Like, but it'll be two good games, I think, to watch.
Aye, but we've got McGinn. Superpower again.
I actually watched the highlights of their game last night, and I'm not being big-headed at, but I didn't think they were up to much other than that boy Dermich. He's their best player by far.
Right.
He's probably a class apart for any of them. But I would say they're fairly solid at the back, but there wasn't much gone out wide from what I saw, unless they're missing a few players. But I kind of looked through their team, and I'm usually quite good with recognising a few players. I've seen them play before, I've seen them before. Other than that, Dermich, I didn't recognise a single player on that side.
Aye, I looked at their squad last night as well, and I thought the same. Like, Dermich is the only recognisable one, I think. It'll be interesting though. I think it'll be a good game, and hopefully we get more in Easter Road than we had for the first leg of the other last round. So I wonder. We'll probably hear about that on Monday, after the Motherwell game's out the road, and hopefully we can get tickets, like we did last week, Calvin.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, I think it'll be a tough game, but I think Hibs are already preparing for it. With that in mind, we'll just see what happens. We're quite solid at the back as well, the way. Like, I think we'll definitely need to win the home tie, though. That's for sure. Definitely win the home tie, even if we go over there with a 1-0 lead, Kim. To be honest with you, I don't know if that'll be enough. But we've got to fancy ourselves. I mean, Ken, we're in the competition too. We're not a bad side.
No,
we can't bow over to some Croatian team. Like, we've got to get a goal.
And the good thing is,
right.
away goals don't count anymore. So even if it is 2-1, it doesn't really matter. Ken, it's Hibs have won 2-1. It's not like Rijeka need one goal and they're through. Ken, it's a wee bit better now.
I think we've got good depth in the team. Like Boyle on the wings, frightening. You've got Mackay, you've got Murphy, You've got Nisbet, Nisbet and Doige. You got Doig bombing up the wing. I mean, we've got a good team. Scotty Allen, Joel Newell will be back.
Josh Campbell looked fantastic last night. I don't know if you thought the same, Simon, but I think he's a good option if Scott Allen's tired or needing a rest. He looked fantastic last night. Same with Doyle Hayes actually and McGuinness. The three of them were my standouts last night. Three of them were fantastic. So I think McGuinness is in for a big season, and he's proven that in the European games. So I think he'll be looking good. And looking at this season, we're first game this week, Motherwell on Sunday, and away days are back. We've got a 2,000 strong away end. Are any of you going?
I'm no, actually, no. I was thinking about getting tickets, but I think I'm just going to leave it. My team's got 2 games this weekend, so I think I'll just leave it. We've got Bayside tomorrow, and then we've got Hamilton on Sunday. So, but it's an early kickoff. But I wasn't going to bother getting tickets, and just in case it was a later kickoff, I'll probably watch it though.
Aye.
Depending on if I can get a stream for the first half.
I think if I'm right, it's on TV, is it? No, is it on Sky?
No, I think that Andorra and FA are streaming it.
Well, we'll get the last 20 minutes then.
Aye, they're streaming it.
Aye, it's good. It's good to see that we've got away fans though. Like I wasn't expecting that for a long time, but 2,000 is a good number as well for Motherwell. That must be nearly all of that stand.
It's because they've only sold 4,000 season tickets, eh?
Aye, so
anything for money, they'll take it.
Aye, they also gave their season tickets away for free this year, so they'll be trying to get as many away. But credit to them. Can imagine Hibs had done that.
They did do that, but last season they actually promised their fans that they'd see 19 games in person.
I know.
So there was a lot of trouble. There was a lot of trouble last year because obviously they didn't get to see any games in person. So this year, that's why they've done it, but they've marketed it quite well to make it look like they're giving it away. But they're actually just keeping their promise of last year, so it's quite clever, like. But
they just know they're funding it for last season. That's
exactly.
It's not really a free season ticket. It just means you're basically getting to see games that you didn't see last season.
Pretty much, aye. But the way they've done it is really clever. But they're a decent wee club, Motherwell. Like they've got. Feel sorry for them just where they're situated because I mean, can you get a lot of Celtic and Rangers fans in Edinburgh? I mean, over there must be crazy as well, eh? You know what I mean? So,
you look at that
Lanarkshire.
You see them in Hamilton, their average attendance, like especially Hamilton's. I know they've been relegated now, but their average attendance is about 2,000 home fans. So, Motherwell and Hamilton are definitely, unfortunately, in the wrong area of Scotland for that. So, but it's good to see. Looking forward to the league starting. Jink the squad's ready going into it after playing last night.
I do. I think the squad's ready. I think we've got good depth. Like just like you mentioned there, we've got Jake Doyle Hayes, McGuinness, Daniel Mackay, Joe Newell, Scott Allen. Like it's a good team, mate. I think the only thing that might crop up would be the fact that we are playing again on Thursday night. So in terms of squad depth, like it's important we get 3 points. It's also important we win on Thursday night. So it's a bit of a catch-22, eh? Like, what do you do? Do you go for it twice, Ken? Or do you, Ken, what do you do? It's got to be quite interesting to see how Jack Ross manages these games. But we've still got the players there to do the business. Like you said, the boy Campbell. There's been a few other youngsters that have came into the team that have done really well. Who's the laddie that plays up front again? He's been playing up front last couple of weeks. He played against
Stevie Bradley.
Stevie Bradley, we might see more of these types of characters as well in the Motherwell game second half if we are sitting pretty. But Hibs Motherwell is always a close game. Do you know what I mean? But I do feel we're a class above them though this season anyway. But I do think it'll be a tight game.
I would say so, considering I don't know if you've seen any of the results that they've had in pre-season. I'm not usually just going by this sort of Premier Sports Cup, but was it no? They were 2-0 down to Queen of the South, managed to scrape a 3-2 win, and then a 2-0 loss to Airdrie as well. I mean, it was two screamers for the Airdrie boys, but performance-wise, they were absolutely shocking. Like some of the football, and I think one player they certainly won't miss this season is Alan Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually hoped we were going to get him, but obviously, kind of money wise, I could never see us spending 500 grand on one player, straight like that. But when you look at some of the signings they've made, like I've got a list in front of some of the signings they've made this season. They've got that Liam Kelly on a permanent, the boy that used to be at Rangers. I thought he was all right at last season. And the boy Connor Shields that played up front for Queen of the South, I thought he looked all right.
He looked all right against us last season in the cup.
Aye. And then there was a boy Callum Slattery that was in Southampton's first team at one point. Like they've just signed him. He's still quite young, so I think they've got a half decent squad. I'm not quite convinced that they're going to have enough to beat us. That might come back to bite me, but it has happened many times before. But I think we'll win it. I'm not going to say it's going to be comfortable, but
yeah,
I think we'll win the game.
I think we've definitely got the squad, but you're right, Calvin. We do need to consider that we are playing Thursday and probably Sunday again next week. So it's going to be one of those ones where Jack Ross might rest. Well, I think he'll play Newell because he missed last night. I think he'll play Scott Allen because he missed last night. But it's probably going to be a very, very similar team because I still think we're missing a few players. I still think we need another striker and our centre back just to beef the squad up a bit. But it'll be interesting. So, Simon, you think we'll win? Do you have a score prediction in mind?
I've got a funny feeling we'll probably concede, but we always seem to concede against Motherwell, so I'll go 2-1 to Hibs.
2-1. Calvin, what are you thinking?
6-6. I think I'll go 2-0 Hibs. No, in fact, I'll go 1-0 Hibs. I'll go 1-0 Hibs. That'll do. 1-0.
I think 4-1 Hibs. I think we'll do a number on them. I think so, mate. I think especially with Celtic being a bit shaky now, I think we need to start if we want to split the Old Firm, which is a big ask, I know, but if we want to be pushing for second, we need to start doing a drubbing on teams like Motherwell and teams that should be finishing bottom six this season. We should be beating them pretty comfortably, and our away form last season was frightening. So I'm hoping we go and do them. So I'll go 4-1. Aye.
We're better away from home as well.
I'd love to see it be 4-1, but I think me and Calvin have went a wee bit more conservative because we've seen. I'd love to see it be 4-1, but I think I'm happy going safe at 2-1. If it goes 4-1, then I'll be happy with that.
I think we'll win. I think I would love to see us go there and absolutely battle them, but we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to being back though. So is there anyone in the Motherwell team that we think will cause us problems? I was going to say Callum Slattery, but that's really, and maybe Tony Watt. But apart from that, to be honest, I don't really know many of Motherwell's players now because all the ones that were half decent have left. It looks like so.
A lot of the boys on this list, I didn't think I've actually played for them so far. Like there's a boy they signed last night from, I think they might be Norwegian, a centre half they signed last night. I don't know if he's playing. But the boy Ken Woolery that used to be at Tranmere, he's always been quite decent. But once again, I don't know if he's been playing. I don't know if this is how you pronounce the guy's name, but it's Justin Amaluzo. He was playing for Maid.
That's a quality name.
That's a quality name. And there's a boy Kevin Van Veen that's come off the bench a couple of times for him, but he just seems like a big huddy to me. But any time I've seen a big huddy, like I remember. My dad used to come to a couple of games. We used to get free tickets when I was doing my previous job, and we used to get free tickets. And I used to have a kind of a jinx of calling the big boys useless that played against us. Jason Scotland, Christian Nadi, and they always seem to score against us. So this Van Veen isn't as big, but quite a tall boy. So. I'll not slag him off too much because he might go and score 5 or something against us. So
I hope not.
Aye.
Before we move on to the shirt numbers, I just want to touch briefly on the new chief executive Ben Kinsell that joined on was it Wednesday he was announced? I think it was Wednesday.
Aye.
So do any of you know much? I know a wee bit about him, but do any of you, have you seen his interview, or have you got any thoughts on him joining us?
I watched his interview, so I'm not 100% sure about him. I've seen bits and pieces about him that Norwich fans said that he'll be brilliant. And I saw Grant Holt said a wee bit about he could potentially be our best signing this summer. He seems to have a wee bit about himself that he's quite a confident guy, which is always a positive. And I don't think he seems the oldest. I don't know about you. He doesn't look the oldest, so
No.
it will bring a bit of a fresher mind than just having kind of Ron Gordon floating about. Although I think he said that he's taken a bit of a step back and kind of allowing this new guy to come in and show what he's got.
Aye, that's good, Simon. I agree. I think he'll be good for us. So, Calvin, what's your thoughts on him?
Well, I've done a little bit of research, and I see that he spent 6 years at Arsenal as well. So he's been at Arsenal, he's been at Norwich, which is like two very, good Premiership sides and good Championship sides in Norwich. So, he's coming with a wealthy experience. One thing that I will note is that, what I like about this is they took a bit of time to get him. It was like 8 months they took to get the boy. So it's not like they've just, took someone for like the Dundee United equivalent of Leanne Dempster. It's not like they've just brought him or her over. It's like they've actually went further afield and they've tried to be a bit different. Because if they had went to a team like Dundee United and took their chief exec, like what would really be different with that at Hibs? Do you know what I mean? Like, where would the difference be? It's the same league. They know the same stuff. Blah blah blah. It's nice that they've brought in someone with a different experience, but quality experience as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing, how he's going to elevate us to the next level. Because Leanne did such a good job, and I think we've all got her to thank for rebuilding the club and putting the club back on its feet. So if you're listening, Leanne, thanks.
No, for sure. The one bit the biggest takeaway I took for that was when he said in his interview, he said that he likes to get to know the fans as well. So I think that's positive to hear that the new chief exec wants to get to know the fans and hear their views and try and work together closely with them. So I think it's got the makings of a fantastic appointment, and I think if he comes with Grant Holt's blessing saying it'll be the best signing we'll make this summer, then I'm taking a lot for that. So I'm looking forward to that.
I was going to say as well, I seen someone putting on their Twitter that he looks like Porteous with a beard. Have you seen him? He actually does. He's a spitting image of Porteous. That was funny. Someone said that. He does look like him.
Because I'm sure when they were sorting him out, that there was an interview I watched with Ron Gordon, and he was saying that he'd brought a group together. So this wasn't just like Gordon's decision. There was
that's right. Aye.
It went out and found this guy to be the best candidate for it. So it says a lot that it's, and I think it was fans as well that were partly involved in it. So it says a lot that they've obviously found a person that they trust, and it's not just someone that Gordon's just slung in that he's known for long enough. He's heard for his pal's pal and says, "I go and chuck him in."
Exactly.
There was a wee bit of rumour that it was potentially going to be Ron Gordon's son, but I wonder he'll probably have some. And he definitely had the influence on Chris Muller's signing. So I wonder if he's maybe having an influence over that side of the pond. But you're right. I think when I watched Ron Gordon's interview, I think he said that Greg McEwen and Graham Maffey were part of the team that looked for him. So it's got the makings of a massive appointment, and one that hopefully we reap the benefit of in the coming years. Hopefully he's here for a wee while.
Aye, that's right.
Aye, totally. So let's second last section is the shirt numbers. Simon, we'll ask you for your favourite number 22 when we go through this list, and it's not a pretty list, I've got to be honest. So I'll just read them out, and we can maybe discuss some of the bad ones on the list and then pick our favourites. So we've had Dean Shields, Danny Galbraith, George Frankham, Phil Airy, Duncan Watmore, Fraser Mullen, Fraser Fivey, Callum Booth, Henry Annier, Andy Shinney, Flo Canberry, Stephen McGinn, and current number 22, Jake Doyle-Hayes.
God, we're not exactly blessed, are we?
No, when we get higher up in the numbers, it's not exactly good.
tell you what, it might a lot of people might know. I'll go with Canberra because he had his moments. He did have his moments. Certainly, in some games he did look good. He is a wee bit of a traitor. I hate him, but I suppose when you're not exactly blessed with a quality of player that's wore that number, I'll go with Canberra.
Aye, it's. I think had he not done what he done at the end, I think I would have picked him as well. I'm trying to think who I pick off this list. It's got to be Dean Shields, eh? Looking at that list, he's probably the best one we've had. Or
Dean Shields was good.
Jake Doyle Hayes can probably, and hopefully very soon, take that number as my favourite 22. But because I've not seen enough of Jake and I have stopped yet, I'll go with Dino.
But there was some of them there that I would never have known they won like that. Henry Anier, like I actually thought he was going to be good when he came in, and then he was pretty non-existent for most of it. I actually forgot he was there part of the time. I think he came off the bench, and I was like, I didn't remember signing him. I thought we got rid of him. He'd only been in there for 3 weeks or something.
I'm pretty sure he scored an important goal once. Can't remember who it was against. I think he got us a draw or something like that.
I think it was against Livingston, if I remember correctly.
I can't mind. Was it? Aye. He looked all right, but he wasn't great, was he?
No.
Don't know if he got much of a chance though, eh?
Nah, I think we punted him very quick. I think he was. Was it Stubbs that signed him? Would have been, eh?
We took him for. Did we take him for Dundee United, or did he go to Dundee United after us? He went after us, didn't he? Because he played against us in the cup.
Aye. Same with Andy Shinnie. I didn't think he got enough of a chance at Hibs to. But he just signed for Livingston.
Aye. He's Derby scored in the Derby.
Scored a beauty in a Derby.
Aye, scored in the Derby. I'm going to go Fraser Five, Cup winner, hero.
Aye,
so
that's fair.
Fraser Five. I liked Fraser Five. I ken a lot of folk didn't like him, but Andy doesn't like him. Andy Rogers has been on the podcast, but I think he was good. I really liked him. I think he gets overshadowed a wee bit because we had McGinn and Allen and McGeoch and that in the team as well. But I thought he was good. I liked him. I thought he was a good, solid player.
Played well in the cup final that day. I think that was his best game for Hibs, and it's the game that mattered. So
he made that pass to the Doug's running the room. He made the pass to Stokes to Kevin Stokes was driving down and into the box just before the corner, and he hit it.
Aye.
I thought Stokes was going to score that before it went for the corner. It flashed across the box, and Keaton's almost tapped it in.
Aye, that's right. Aye, so five, a good player, mate, good player. So last section is the listener questions. We've only got one this week, Simon, and it's for Jack Gillies. Jack
we've got
Gillies,
a few more.
Have you got?
I've added some in for Facebook, mate. We've had a few folk on Facebook writing in, so I've popped them in.
Right, I'll do this one, and you can do the Facebook ones, mate, because I can only see the Twitter one. So Simon, it's for Jack, and you'll know Jack pretty well. He says, what do you think of your class media team at the academy, especially that Jack lad who does the interviews?
To be fair, I did reply back to him and just said no comment. Just to wind him up. To be fair, he does quite well. Him and the boy Callum, the two of them have done brilliant. I don't know how long Callum's been in, but I know Jack's not been anywhere near I think he's only been in it a couple of months, but he does quite a good job. Certainly well prepared for. He turns up early to the games and stuff. So I think he was at the. You might have seen it on Twitter. They done footage for when my team played Rangers.
I've seen that. Aye.
It was the two of them that done that. So, aye, Jack, if you're listening, you do no bad, pal. You do no bad.
He's a cracking lad. He's got great knowledge. That laddie. We went to the game with him last Thursday, and it's just fascinating talking to him. The amount of stuff he kens about football and other teams, and it's good. Good guy.
Sometimes you got to hold him back because he gets a wee bit carried away.
Jack won the raffle last night on Jordan Hopkinson's Twitter as well. So let us ken what you get, Jack, and hopefully it's an Adidas number, because that would be worth a mint if you get that.
Aye, you need to let us ken. Nearly let us care what you got, Jack, when you're listening. But no, great stuff. So I've got a question here from Grant on Facebook, and he's wrote in saying, will we see Dabrowski play more in the league or Europe to rotate the squad? So do you think we'll see like a cup keeper?
I think you'll be Macy for last season. I think you'll play the cups. I don't think you'll play much in the league or in Europe with Macy's. But to be fair, Dabrowski looks as good as Macy, so it wouldn't surprise me if Jack Ross maybe plays him on Sunday, to keep Macy fit for the Euros, but the European games. But I wouldn't be opposed to Dabrowski playing a wee bit more often as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not particularly one that likes rotating goalkeepers purely because it's like one position that
consistency. Yeah,
like if Rocky hadn't got injured when he did last season, I can't remember what the reason was that he was out. I didn't think he would have been out at all. And it seems a wee bit a funny one. Like there was something being said about us bringing on a third keeper. Now I know obviously if your keeper gets injured, your main keeper gets injured, you've got to have a backup. But then you just you're paying a wage for someone that's just going to sit there. And I suppose Craig Sampson could technically be that third keeper as well as being the
right, aye.
But for me, I'd like to see Dabrowski get his chance. I mean, what is he, 22 now? And it's sort of that kind of thing of I've always had this thing with Jamie Gillies as well. I know this is kind of going away a bit of a keeper, but he's 22 as well. And if you're kind of not making a kind of indent in the squad, then you've kind of got to really evaluate where your career's at. Do you want to be sitting on the bench and getting chances every so often, or do you really want to be pushing to get a start at a club, whether it's at your current club, or for me, probably not going out on loan, kind of going permanently to kind of build your career up and move yourself somewhere else and potentially come back further down the line.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. I think this is the first time in a long time we've had two good goalies. It's been a position that's really haunted us in the past, but this time I feel like we've got two cracking goalies. Like obviously Macy's the number one, but I wouldn't feel shaky with Dabrowski in goals either. I think he's all right.
Not at all.
Two goalies that aren't lacking height either.
Exactly.
No, we said that the Rafe game, Calvin. Macy's massive in person.
He's a big boy.
Is Macy 6'7" and Dabrowski 6'5"?
Like you didn't normally get two keepers over 6 foot at a club, and especially no that end of 6 foot. So
what was Rocky? Was Rocky about 6 foot maybe?
Aye, so that's good stuff. Like, next question comes from Brian. This one's from YouTube, and he says, "Will we see the team wear their away kit on Sunday?" It's a good start.
We haven't wore it yet, have we?
No, I think I never thought about that, but now I've not worn it yet. Maybe to sell some shirts, we might wear it, aye. I think Hibs tend to wear the green when they play Motherwell away.
Aye.
I've always found the away kit weird because, as you say, like it's very rare we ever have to change it. Like it always seems like if we're going to wear the away kit, it's usually if we're playing like Celtic because there's kind of that clash of green. But most of the time, it just seems like you maybe get it 4 or 5 times a season when we've kind of got to. I suppose we better wear it at some point, so fans aren't just thinking, well, why we've got an away kit, we didn't use it.
Exactly, you're right. Yeah. No, we do tend to wear the green against a lot of teams.
We seem to wear it a wee bit more when it's getting towards the end of the season when we're like, we need to sell it for half price. It seems like kind of like, oh, let's just wear the away kit. But I hope we wear it. I quite like it, so.
It is a cracker. I remember I went to go see Hibs Hearts. It was the start. It was over the season. We actually got the season after we got relegated. They beat us 2-1, and we wore the away strip there. It was a white. It was like the white shirt with a white collar, green shorts, white socks. Aye, it was strange. It was strange seeing them Hibs play Hearts, but we wore the away kit then, so it's quite an interesting one actually. I'm not too sure. I'll say they wear the home kit. I think they wear the home kit, if I'm honest with you.
Aye. We wore the away kit twice at Tynecastle that year because I was at the New Year derby and we wore it that game as well.
Maybe just try something different for luck.
Never. A bit like the team, never change something if it's working. So if we keep winning in the green strip, never wear the white strip until we get hammered. True. Then we'll wear the white strip, and then we'll get hammered with that, and we move back again. We end up everyone will wear the goalie strip.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Next one comes in from Murray on Facebook as well. He says, Simon, if you could coach at any foreign club, who would it be?
Foreign club. I don't know. As I say, somewhere in Scandinavia. So I don't know. Bromby, somewhere maybe like that. I know obviously they beat us, but I know they've got a good system. So
All right, that's cool.
like Bromby, yeah.
I thought you may went for Bayern Munich or something, or one of the big ones.
No, the thing is, I'm thinking realistic. Probably
Right, okay.
like a sort of where I want to kind of start the career. Obviously, it's unrealistic for me to say my first professional coaching job is going to be, I don't know, one of the big clubs. I'm going to go straight to the Leicester job and replace Brendan Rodgers in 5 years. That's not realistic. But no, as I say, somewhere like Scandinavia, because I'm not exactly in a rush. It's unlikely that I'd be getting a professional coaching job at a top level and within the next 15 years. Purely just how hard it is to,
of course,
to get at a young age. Yeah.
Aye, of course. Okay, last one comes from Tam on Facebook, and he says, "What do you think of this Simonovic rumor?" That's how you say it, Simonovic. Have you heard that rumor, guys? Boy used to play for Celtic. Is he not the one that upended Kenny Miller?
Yeah.
It was. I forgot about that until now.
I think it's more of a rumour than anything else, because I have seen a few people floating about to try and wind people up about it. Was there no something earlier in the summer that he was potentially going back to Celtic? I don't know if that was just a rumour as well, but obviously he's not got a club, but could we really afford any of the wage that he wants? Like, I know you can't be too fussy if you've not got a club, but at the same time, he was quite injury prone at Celtic, so I don't know if we can really afford to go and kind of struggle along someone maybe paying them $5,000 a week to potentially only play like 10 games a season if he's just going to be injured for most of it. So that's if only that was true. It might have just been someone just trying to get a bite out of someone just to get someone set up, or because we're not signing anyone, someone's just come out of nowhere and says we're going to sign Tamfi down the road or Simonovic, and it's chucking something in there. I'll chuck something in the hat. We're going to sign Ronaldo next week on a 5-year deal, but we'll be paying him until he turns 140. But
he's not someone that was on my radar. Like I forgot about him once he left Celtic. He was obviously famous for that tackle on Kenny Miller, but I'd like to see him replicate that tackle in a derby. Maybe go through. I didn't even ken any of the Hearts players. Yeah, if I'm honest with you, they've been doing.
Him and Pottis go either side of any of the Hearts players. Doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Him and Pottis, that'd be like two rockets hitting a.
I can.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That'd be mental.
He ended up joining that boy in space. What's his name? The boy, Richard Branson. He got hit by the A2.
I wish Stephen A. Smith was still playing football. If we'd gotten Simonovic, take him out of the game.
Pottis can bust the boy. Simonovic could bust the boy.
It'd be some partnership, like.
I think it's just a rumor. I don't think it's going to happen. I saw on Twitter there was a few people tweeting about it, but I'm not convinced it's going to happen. I wouldn't be against it if it did, but I can't see it. Like Simon says, I think he'll be third choice, because I think Hanlon and maybe fourth choice with McGregor in the mix. But I think we are probably going to look at someone who is in the Scottish game already.
It would be interesting for squad depth.
I mean, Champions League experience as well. That's I think it's sort of what we're looking for if we're going to progress in Europe. We need a wee bit European experience now. But I wouldn't be against it, but I can't see it happening.
We'll see what happens. But that's it for the listeners' questions. That's everything, mate. So
great. Well, Simon, we appreciate you coming on, mate, and giving up a wee bit of your time to chat to us about your coaching and Hibs and football in general.
Not a problem. It was a pleasure to be on. I'd be happy to come back on at some other point in the future.
I'd be delighted to have you back, mate. It's been a good conversation. I've really enjoyed it. Aye,
me too. And for the listeners, just a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, to check out us on Recast, because the in-app credits you spend go to Hibs, and it's a win for everyone. But until next week, if you're going to the game on Sunday, enjoy it and hopefully cheer a Hibs win, and we'll catch you next time.
And he told me when he watched the Hibs, he never felt the